For this module, we'll be discussing systems for electrification, focusing on service water heating. When we're talking about service water, or sometimes referred to as domestic or useful hot water in buildings, there are some pretty big immediate opportunities available to us. So here we're talking primarily about tank water heaters and tankless water heaters. Now there is a difference between a tankless water heater and a boiler, as you should all know. We're talking about those just used for service water heating here. These are a huge opportunity. Why? Because there are currently quite easily available both residential style and commercial style integrated or unitary heat pump water heaters. What do I mean by unitary or integrated? The heat pump is actually integrated onto the top of the tank. So it's literally a swap out for these. We do highly recommend that you again work with your distributors and manufacturer reps. In some cases and scenarios, depending on the use cases and the overall estimated gallons per year and gallons per day of use, a residential style heat pump water heater may make the most sense. And in some cases, a commercial heat pump water heater may make the most sense. It really will behoove you to have close communications again with distributors and manufacturer reps so you understand what's available, what some of the pricing is, and how you may follow steps to appropriately size so that a heat pump water heater can easily do the same job that either the tank water heater or the tankless water heater was doing before. Let's take a look at our first easy opportunity. Here we have an electric tank water heater, or residential style or commercial. It could be commercially rated or residentially rated, but the residential style. These can be replaced with a heat pump water heater very quickly and easily. Heat pump water heaters typically have a very similar both what's called first hour rating and recovery efficiency as electric resistance systems. So most consumers and building owners and occupants will notice almost no difference. And an additional bonus, there's no electrification feasibility reporting or gas pipe pressure testing needed when switching from an electric resistance water heater straight to a heat pump water heater. So a very easy call and something we're very excited to see a lot of swap outs when we encounter these. Our next great opportunity here, or example, are gas tank water heaters. Now it may be an atmospherically vented one like the one that you see on the left, or it may be a power vented one like the one that you see on the right. In this case, if a gas tank water heater is due for replacement, these can again be switched out with a heat pump water heater. And again, heat pump water heaters are available with residential ratings as well as with commercial ratings. And as stated previously, many of these have the same or better first hour rating and a similar recovery efficiency as gas units do. So definitely talk to your distributors and your manufacturer reps about the products that can readily replace gas tank systems. When this is done, we typically see a very marked savings for the occupants and the building owners when switching even from an Energy Star rated gas vented system to a heat pump water heater. We still see pretty terrific savings. Again, the drop-in or integrated models are very similar in size and shape, a little taller and a little heavier, but can be dropped directly in as a replacement for these tank style systems. Next up, we have gas tankless water heaters. And again, we are not talking about boilers designed to also do space heating or to be used in commercial cooking or any industrial processes. We're talking about those used for service water heating. So often you'll find a single or a series of these units. And if one or more are due for replacement, there are opportunities to switch to heat pump water heaters. Now here there's a little bit of a difference because switching to a heat pump water heater means installing a tank where previously there was a tankless unit. So there will take some involvement of, is there the right space? Are the plumbing connections going to be easy enough to modify to make tanks work where previously a tankless unit was? Again, the first hour ratings and recovery efficiency are pretty good for heat pump water heaters right now. They will not provide the quote-unquote unlimited hot water that tankless units often do. But for most of our applications in the commercial and multifamily sector, particularly when we're talking about individual unit tankless water heaters, again, not a central system, that's usually not the same level of challenge. If we were talking about a central system, that is something different, and again, that is being looked at down the road. Again, we recognize that not all scenarios are ideal for heat pump water heaters, but for a lot of buildings out there, these are ideal electrification opportunities. So again, please stay in close contact with your distributor and your manufacturer's reps to learn what types of heat pump water heaters are available, what their size, shape, configuration, and weight are, so that you can have this as an intelligent conversation with the building owners and their facilities team about whether or not a tankless water heater may be replaced with a heat pump water heater. Now, a round two opportunity. Again, so this is not for immediate, but there may be some cases where some of these are arising and the building owner is interested in considering electrification, either partially or fully, and would like to engage on this. In that scenario, there are some products that are beginning to become available, but with boilers, they can be being used either for space and water heating together, or they may be potentially, a boiler may be used just for water heating or service water heating for multiple units at the same time. With these scenarios, what's available as a replacement in the heat pump sector is not quite the same. They're rarely a single drop-in unit replacement, as I described before. You may be looking at what's considered a split system water heater for replacing these. And in that case, there's an internal tank inside of the building. And then there are refrigerant lines running to the outside where there is a compressor. So similar to other heat pumps and air conditioners in buildings. Those types of systems are coming onto market with greater frequency. And we do believe in the next 2 years, we're going to have enough available to be able to realistically do some boiler replacement. Some of them are from some very large brand names that you're probably familiar with. Others are from very specialized companies that are just looking at this. So you've heard me say it before, you'll hear me say it again. Talk to your distributors and manufacturers reps. Learn about things like, again, the size, the shape. Are unitary systems coming online that can replace these, or will they be split systems? And understand any modifications that may need to happen to the room that these go into, the electrical supply, the piping, etc. Remember, these systems are not really a target for the first round of permit changes in 2023 and the equipment replacement requirements in 2025. They will, however, begin to be a part of the permit process changes in 2025. So it's worth getting to know what's available now and what's coming down the pike. Because in the very near future, just a couple of years out, we're going to want to move these to the round one opportunity. So it's time to start to educate ourselves, to learn about this, be highly engaged with the stakeholders, and again, reach out to us at the program if you have questions or thoughts, or you have a current building owner in one of these scenarios with a boiler looking for replacement. We're happy to talk through opportunities, and we're happy to work with your distributors and manufacturers reps to help find a solution if available. Down the road a little bit, we'll be looking at things like central boilers and steam heat exchangers. These are a few years out. And then we have this other sector called air-to-water heat pumps. This may be our best option for replacement for either individual or what we call pod style boilers, where a boiler does space and water heat for a single space or maybe a few spaces but not the whole building, all the way to central boilers. Air to water heat pumps are beginning to come to market, as I mentioned earlier, that are capable of doing both space and water heating. So we know that this is an opportunity. It may be an opportunity you can take advantage of in 2 years or 4 years. We are carefully tracking this, and we believe that you should be as well. So again, talk to your distributors, your manufacturers reps, talk to other specialty contractors that you work with, and learn about where we're at with the ability to replace central boilers with air to water heat pumps and other electrical solutions. Now, electrifying by itself, just switching to electric, isn't always an ideal solution. For instance, for boilers and some central systems, there may be electric resistance equipment that is available that could, in theory, replace a gas piece of equipment. But these typically have large peaks and can have high operating costs, neither of which are ideal for us because the high electrical peaks have an impact to our grid, and the high operating costs obviously have an impact to our building owners and their tenants. So we really want to find the solutions that have neither a large electrical peak impact nor a high operating cost impact. If you find these types of buildings and you have building owners that are showing an interest or a need to have some replacements, and you feel that you may be able to work something out, please give us a call. We'd be happy to talk with you, learn more about the projects that you're working on, and see if we can't work with you, your distributors, and the manufacturers to find solutions that are going to work. But this is an eventual electrification opportunity because it is not a core part of the permitting process changes right now, but will be over time. So keep your eyes and ears open for these types of opportunities and stay engaged with us at the program. If and when you have building owners or their facilities maintenance teams that are showing a real interest in full electrification, or if you, as a plumbing or mechanical contractor, are saying, I want to embrace this, I want to make partial and full electrification a core part of what we do for our business, particularly for the commercial and multifamily sector, I can't more highly recommend downloading this resource. It's called Cost-Effective Strategies for Electrification. It targets high-performance buildings and homes, and it was developed for the city and county of Denver, in particular around the time that the Energized Denver Ordinance was being developed. You can either click on the link if you have the PDF version of this training, or you can use, again, your smartphone or a tablet and scan this QR code, and it should take you directly to this report. You can also use your search engine and just type in Cost-Effective Strategies for Electrification, City and County of Denver, and this report should pop right up. Again, a very terrific report. It really helps with the large picture and may give you some ideas on how to stage, how to think through process-wise, what to prioritize with building owners now, in the short-term future, and in the long-term future.